Plate. Do you have the right job? Are you looking for a job? We've got an expert in finding you the best job for your personality. And then Paula Brown is here, and we're going to make some gorgeous, authentic French chicken and some gorgeous, authentic French cookware.
It's like I'm seeing all the blue skies, and I'm walking on the air tonight. It feels so right, and I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here. Rebecca Rainier.
Welcome to Full Plate. I'm Rebecca Rainier, and just like the song says, I'm so glad you're here, and I am so glad that Tiffany Reynolds is here today. You are officially a success coach, is that right?
That is correct. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, we're thrilled to have you here, and I think you really hit the nail on the head with what you're helping people with, which is we sort of get ideas of what we want to do, but we don't know how to do them, or why aren't we happy in our jobs, or why aren't we getting our, I mean, there's so, everybody, your job and your work is so critical to your day-to-day. It's really important to try to get the right fit. And so that's the first thing I want to tell everyone is that you wrote a book. So we're going to talk a lot about different success strategies, but this is Tiffany's book. So how do you say that? Need a job? Then do something, right?
Well
okay,
said.
so we're gonna figure out what to do. And the first question to be is, how do our personalities impact the kind of positions that we should have when it comes to our jobs?
Very good question. You know, honestly, a lot of people are money driven.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people, when they attend school, they go after positions that suits their monetary goal.
Mm-hmm.
But I always like to tell people, what is your personality? Because when you find a job, you want to soar. You want to be an added value to the company. So say, for instance, a sanguine. Sanguines are very cheerful, enthusiastic,
Okay.
wonderful people. And people that have personalities such as that should go after positions such as human resources or coaching or teaching or things of that nature, or sales for that matter. Because again, you can use your personality to the fullest. However, you might have a choleric, you know. Those that have choleric personalities, those tend to be people that are they're very serious natured, tend to always like to the avenue of being an executive or manager, if you will, and they have easy temperaments. So people such as that, they are wonderful in jobs such as architect, managers, as well as analysts.
So when you're making these decisions, I mean, a lot of times we make these decisions when we're in college, when we
Yes.
really don't know
Yes.
who we are. But how do you start to counsel someone? Kind of how do you assess which kind of person I am? Which, you know, you say these categories, but how does a person look at themselves and decide, you know what, I'm more this or that? You know, what's the inventory you kind of have to take?
Very good question. There's an assessment test that I always share with people to take basically, and I administer that assessment test. And it shares with you, you kind of ask a series of questions, and in answering those questions, then you have an opportunity to see where you fall. Because at the conclusion of that assessment, it will actually kind of reveal a report that shares with you what category you fit under.
Do people miss their own, I mean, do they misdiagnose themselves? You know, I think I'm a people person. No, you're not. You're driving
Right.
everybody nuts.
Right.
I mean, a lot of times people will say, I'm a people person, and then they don't really want that position where they're maybe working with the public or, you know, in a sales position. Do people, you know, it's hard to see yourself. Do you see that a lot?
Absolutely, and this is why it's necessary to have a success coach. Because honestly, the things that we're very good at, we don't want to do. And sometimes we do it so easily, we don't figure that it's a great skill and you can make money from it. Think of artists. Think of those persons that do sculpting. Oh, I can't make much money doing that, so I might as well do something else.
Right.
But I always share with people, stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane.
Because I'm telling you, there's money there. It's just a matter of where you fit. And where you fit, you flourish. Where you flourish, you fly. And where you fly, you make a whole lot of money.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
I'm trying to stay in my lane. I just stay in your lane. So when is it time, though, to get out of your lane and decide this turns out not to be my match? I mean, do you have people, I'm sure you do, that say, I hate my job and I don't want to, you know, I hate going to work. And how do you counsel someone who feels like they're at, you know, their wits' end with their employment?
Very good point. In fact, there's an example. There's a young man that was working at in production, but very good in management. And he wanted to be in management. And so, but the thing was is that there was no management positions available, number one. And then number two, he was making some nice money.
Where he was.
Exactly. So now he had this
Kinda
tug of
conflict,
war.
yeah.
This tug of war. Where might I go? And so I'd asked him, I said, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
What would you like to do? Number one, you have 3 children, you have a wife. So how might you move forward? And I let him answer that question because again, I'm a success coach. What's successful for you? If you want to leave that job, then that means you might have to jeopardize.
This financial stability
You got
you're
it.
currently
Absolutely.
enjoying.
But go after, continue to look for work, continue to possibly volunteer somewhere else when you can, because people hire who they like. It's not a matter of what you know, but who you know and who knows you.
See, that's really important
It
right
is.
there. I
It
mean, when you go
really,
on all
really
these
is.
career sites and email, here's an opening, there's an opening. In the truest form, it's that you hear from another person, hey, there's this opening. I know you,
Absolutely.
and I think you would be good for this job. I mean, it's that
Absolutely.
that connection factor that people forget when they're just blinding, sending in a resume.
Absolutely, absolutely.
If and I think what you said about volunteering is truly important because I took a kind of a break in my career, but the entire time I advanced in other skill sets, which were back when Twitter was new and all that. I did all that kind of stuff while I was taking my break, and I spent a lot of my skill sets on nonprofit work. And sure enough, those things turned out to be, when I turned around and went back into the workforce, the most desirable aspects of my resume, the things that I cultivated in the volunteer world.
Absolutely.
I mean, volunteer organizations, they want your skills. You
They
got
do.
you got this skill, let's use it.
do. They
Let's
do.
use it. You
They
get
do.
a practical
They do.
approach.
Absolutely. And one of the things I like to mention that when people are pursuing work, it seems like 80% of the people are doing the exact same thing, submitting resumes, submitting resumes, submitting resumes. But oftentimes, as you can imagine, employers have a wealth of resumes, some of which are not actually created well or crafted well. And so when you volunteer, not only do I have an opportunity to witness you coming in on time, you have a great rapport with the staff, the people like you, and you're here every day. That sends an ultimate signal. So when an opportunity does arise, guess who is going to be the first one?
First call.
Exactly. Is that the person that actually volunteers? So I think it's a wonderful thing. In fact, a lot of my clients, I recommend that they do that. And they always share with me, I don't have time for that. I need money now. Well, then I say, out of 24 hours, how much money are you getting right now?
Right.
And if that's zero, it's
You
worth
got the
doing.
time.
You got it. Absolutely.
You know, the other also awesome thing is when you work with groups like that, it may not even be that nonprofit or that charity that you get hired at, but it's someone else's volunteering. Someone, you know what, I'm the manager of this other thing, and we're both volunteer together. It just exposes you to that network that you need to build to get to the next level or the new opportunity.
Absolutely.
I'm going to show everyone the book again. And how do we also have, I don't know where to put it. There we go. Okay, so we also have your website. Say your website address for us so that we can get that.
Sure, www.tiffanyreynolds.com, and I'll be conducting a free workshop entitled Learn How to Stand Out, Get the Interview, and Get the Job by Confidently and Boldly Articulating with Precision why you're the best applicant for the job.
All right, we're going to shorten that title up for the second seminar, but I like it. I like the point. I like it, baby. It's good.
Sure.
She is great as far as I liked all your tips on your blog too. We only just scratched the surface because we have a lot more that we can cover. We have to go, but go to her website because I love this. Here's what you're going to read when you go to the website. How do you answer the question, what is your greatest weakness? We're not going to tell them. We're going to make them go to your site.
Sure.
Because that is a really good question
Sure.
to get on interviews. All right, TiffanyReynolds.com, and this is her book. You can buy her book on her website. Thank you so much. If you are sick of your job, go to her site. She can give you some ideas. Yeah, I love that one.